Before we move to create our boxes, looks like that this box is in here is not in the middle. So if we look at the CSS again, you see that we have chosen the width to be equal to 60%, while in here we said left 15. So in this case this would be 75, and it would be 25% distant from the right. It would be a bigger amount than the left. So in here we say 20%, so that it is 20% far from both sides. If you refresh it, you see now it's in the middle. Now let's go to create our boxes. So in here we go in here and put, so you see the outer div is page, and then we have this box in here, and also we want to put all our tags between this tag in here. In the more smart editors, they usually are like this. For example, the outer tag, this would be like this, so that the user would know that, for example, this is an inner tag. But we stick with the classical method, so that you know that it doesn't have any difference in what you see, but what that matters is the start and end of all the divs, all the tags. So in here now we want to create our different boxes. So we say div, give it a, if you look at the PowerPoint representation, you see that our boxes or our houses are red or black. So in here we say class is equal to red. If you look, the first house is number 3, which is red. Then we have a black. So in here we say class red. Inside we open a bold tag, a B tag, and we put the number 3, and we close the tag. Also we close the div tag like always, because we want to assign to everything an ID or a class. So we give a class equal to text for the B in here, or we could say, for example, B text, so we know that it is in the tag B. And also so right now if I just press Ctrl O, hit enter and save it and refresh it, you see that we have a number 3 in here. So before we move on, let me just actually create another one for the black. So we say class equal to, in here we say black, we close the div, we open a B, put the class equal to again B text. The next number was, if you look, is number 6. So we say 6 in here, close the B tag, close the div. If we have a look again, everything seems to be right. So yes, it's good. Now if we refresh the browser again, you see we have a number 6 in here. Now let's go to the CSS, and if we want to just write all the style sheet in here for both classes, red and black, because they are class, we say a dot, and then we go for the red first. So in here we say display should be block, and then just let's give it a width of maybe 5%, and also a height of 5%. We want them to be a square, but even though right now you may for example look, well, this is a square, but actually it's not. Let me just show it to you first, and then I explain why. So we want to give it a background color also of type of red. Now if we have a look at the browser and refresh it, it doesn't seem to be a square. The reason for that is, as we explained in the previous lectures, if we go to our Windows again and right click in here and choose the screen resolution, you see that the width is of 1300 pixel, while the height is only 700. So if we say, for example, 10% for the width, it would be bigger than the height. 10% of 1300 pixel, well, is 130 pixels, while for the height it would be only 76 pixels. So somehow with the percent format, we should choose the height to be of a bigger size. So again, let's go to our Linux, and in here we say 5% for the width, but 10% for the height, or maybe for example 9% for the height. So we choose it 9%, and if we refresh it, you see now it seems like a square again, because I'm using the Linux and the screen in the Linux is different because it is installed on a VirtualBox. It might not look like a complete square, but in other browsers you would see it like a square. Anyways, let's go for the also for the black. So in here we say the class black. In the black everything would be like red, all only the background color. So we say block, the width, which would be 5%. Then we get to the height, which again would be maybe 9%, and give it a background color of black. Now if we have a look at our browser, this is the black, but what we want to do is that we want the text to be white so that we could see the text inside the black boxes. So we say btext, the class btext, we want the color to be white. If you look at the browser again, so yes, it has gone back. Okay, let me just refresh it. Classic roulette, and these are our numbers. If we have a look at the PowerPoint, it seems to be okay. Only 6 should be in one row with the 3. So we go to the CSS, and what we are going to say in both of these classes to say a float left. Float left, as we explained in the previous lectures, is for bringing all the divisions in one row. So you see they are both in one row, but if we also, I want to give them some border. So in here we want to, let me put it in here, to give it a border of 0.1 pixel, a solid border which would be white. So again, border 1 pixel, solid white. If we refresh it, you see these are both of our houses or our boxes. I want them to actually be bigger. So also, if we look in the representation, in all row we have 12 numbers. So what I'm going to do is that I increase the width and height somehow that 12 boxes or houses would be in one row. So if we open our calculator in here and just say 100 divided by 12, you see that the width should be of both width and height should be 8.33. So in here what we are going to do is to maybe give the width, for example, maybe 8%, and for the height we want to give it a 15%. So in here, if we refresh it again, because we have done it only for the black, it has changed. For also red we say 8%, and in here 15%. As I said earlier, because I want to just see the same problems that you see, I haven't created my roulette before, so we want to just do it together to troubleshoot all the problems. So now in here, if we refresh, you see our boxes have been created. Next step is to create all different boxes. So we just copy paste all of these tags. We say copy, and let's just paste some lines in here. So now, or as a faster way, I would want to just say Ctrl+C and then just put some control U in here. So if you look, next one would be 9, then 12, then 15. So we have 9, and as you see, 9 is red, so it should be in the class of red. So also 12, both of them should be in the class of red. Next one is 15, which is in the black. So this is 15. Then we get to the 18 and 21, both of them in red. 18 and 21, both of them in red. Then we get to the 24 and 27. 24 is in the black. 27 should be in the red class. Next we get to 30, which again should be in the red. 30, you see that I'm saying this is 30 after 27, then we get 33, and then at last we get to 36 as the first row. So in here, after 30, we get the 36. 30 is in the red, no, 33 after 30, which is in the red, we get to 33. So in here, we get to 33. 30 should be in the red and 33 in the black. And finally, we get to 36, which should be in the red class. Before we go for the others, I just want to delete these lines. Save this, go to the browser. You see, because we have written all the CSS, so it would be applied for all of them in the same class. Now we refresh it. All the houses have been created. In here, what we need is for the this house in here to 1, so that the user would know that if he chooses any one of these boxes in this row, any amount of money that he puts, he would get twice the money if he wins. So in here we want to put another box saying 2 to 1. So let's say after this we want to say div, let's choose the class equal to bet, maybe, or bet1, and then in here we just say a bold tag, a class of b text again, and we want to say, so what was it, 2 to 1, 2 to 1. We close the b tag and we close the div. Now we go to the CSS, and if we look, it's in the class of bet1, so we say bet1. Now how do we choose the width and the height? If you look, we have for all the boxes which we have chosen all the width 8%, and we have 12 boxes, so 12 times 8 would be equal to 96. Also we have 0.1 pixel for the borders, which because we have 12, it would be plus 1.2 for all the pixels, it would be 97.2. So what I think is that the only amount that we have right now is less than 3%. So in here we say width, let's give it 4% to see what happens, and for the height I want to give it the same amount, which is 15% in here. Just display block and then float left. If we have a look and refresh it, actually it shouldn't be here. I don't think that we should have this amount of space in here. Let me just count them: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So we should have 12 numbers. Let's see what is the problem that we have made. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. So I haven't put the 27 box in here, so let me just go in here, press after 24 we should have 27. So in here we say 27, and if we look, 27 is in the red. So yes, we say red. Now if we refresh, as you see, this has came down, and the reason is that we don't have any space at all. If you look, we have 12 boxes, so we say 12 times 8, so 12 times 8 for the width of all of them would be 96. And if you look at the borders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. 13 times 0.1 would be 1.3, so it's 1.3 border. You might say it's 97.3, as we made actually this mistake that we should have more than 2 pixels. But if you look at the border, one of this border in here, one would be for the 6 and one for the 9. So all the borders in here would be 0.2 pixels instead of 0.1. So again, we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So we have 11 borders that all of them are 0.2. So we have 2.2. Also one border we have in here and one in here. Each of them is 0.1 pixel. So we say plus 0.1 plus 0.1, which would be equal to 2.4. And this would be added to 12 times 8, which would be 96. So we have 98.4, less than 1 pixel. We have space. I think it should be somehow in here that we can't see it. Anyways, we don't have any space. For freeing some space for the these houses in here, we should just decrease all the width in here. So instead of 8, we would want to say maybe 7 pixel. Now if we refresh it, now as you see, we have this in here. Let me just increase them. Instead of 7, we could just do a calculation to see the exact amount for all of them to be equal. But let me just test it. Yeah, now that seems to be better. Also, I want to decrease the height so that the boxes would seem like the squares. So in here, instead of 15, I want to maybe say 13%, and increase this 7.3 maybe. Now if we refresh, this is our boxes. Now what we are going to do is to also give this so this is 15%. If you look, also we want to give this 13% for this height, and give it a background color of, if we look, for example, maybe green also. So we say background color to be dark green. If we look at our color picker, maybe something like this, 1D 3D 28, 1D 3D 28. Now if we refresh it, so we should increase the height so that we get it, or we could just decrease the font size. Let me just decrease the font size in here. Again, let me just have a look. Instead of 4%, also we want to give it a 7%. Now if we look again, we have more space actually. Let me just give it 8. If we have 8% of width, Yes, we have maybe 8.6. Again, you could just calculate the exact amount of space that you have. No, we don't have this much, but I want this to be in here and to be written in this format, so we would want to decrease the size of other boxes. So instead of 7.3, I want to say 7.2. If you have a look, refresh it, yes, now we have everything in here. Also, we want to give it a border for our last box in here. We could just say border 0.1 pixel, solid and white. I think it seems to be completely right. Yes, now the first row of our roulette has been completed.